What is up, guys? It is Coasters and Things here today with another coaster review. Today's review is of Mindbender at Six Flags Over Georgia. This is a Schwarzkopf looping coaster, and it is a classic. I'm going to be talking about everything there is to know about this coaster. So Mindbender is located in the Gotham City area of Six Flags Over Georgia, right at the back off to the left. This coaster was the first major steel coaster added to Six Flags Over Georgia. It opened in 1978. This and Great American Scream Machine by far were the standout attractions back then. They also had Dahlonega Mine Train as well. But anyway, back to Mindbender. It was one of the two Schwarzkopf loopers Six Flags added to their parks in 1978, the other being its sister coaster, Shockwave at Six Flags Over Texas. That was back when those two and Six Flags St. Louis were the only three parks in the Six Flags chain. That's crazy to think about considering how many parks they have now. So Mindbender is painted lime green. Fun fact though, it wasn't always green. It used to be brown before Gotham City was added in. Then once Gotham City was added in, it got repainted green as an unofficial theme to the Riddler. Speaking of the Riddler, this year, this coaster's getting a new name, Riddler Mindbender. I myself am not a fan of the new name. I will forever call it Mindbender, because that's what I've been riding it as up to now. So once you get into the station, you step into your Schwarzkopf train. These trains are characterized by having a very thin lap bar as your only restraint. I remember the first time I was about to board this train, I was questioning just the lap bar for a restraint, but as you'll find out, it's perfectly safe. These trains are black, whereas Shockwaves are white. That is a difference between the trains on the two. So you pull down the lap bar, dispatch from the station, and you start the ascension up the lift hill. This lift hill is 80 feet tall. Once you reach the top, you are at a very slow crawl. You almost come to a complete stop, but you just barely have enough to make the right-hand turn into the first drop. The drop goes subterranean, by the way. This drop is fairly shallow, but the point of it is not for you to feel the drop in your stomach, but rather for you to just start building up speed, because right after the drop, you go into the first vertical loop. Anyone that has ridden a Schwarzkopf knows what these feel like. These loops are very forceful. Your head either gets slammed forward or slammed backwards. The reason you don't start to fall out of your seat is because the speed of the train is going through the loop faster than the speed of gravity. Therefore, instead of falling down, you're actually going up into the seat of the train. The first time I rode this, when we went through the first loop, I was like, holy moly, that is so forceful. Plus, these loops are almost perfect circles, rather than a raindrop shape like on a lot of newer vertical loops. Both loops are 56 feet tall. After the first loop, you come up into a small bit of brakes where you get a little pop of airtime, start banking left upward, then down into the most forceful part of the ride, the downward left helix past the waterfall. You take this helix at an angle, and at the bottom of it, I'm pretty sure is where you hit your max speed of 50 miles per hour. Six Flags Over Georgia actually calls this an inversion, even though it doesn't even come close to going upside down. They refer to this coaster as a triple looping coaster, even though there really are only 2 loops on this ride. Anyways though, you go down, then come back up on this helix. That's why it's so forceful. After the helix, you dive down, come back up again, turn right, and hit another set of small brakes. These don't hit like the first set does, so no big deal here. You then come down again and into the second vertical loop. This is no different from the first loop, so everything I said about the first loop applies to the second one too. Personally, I prefer the first loop over the second one because it's more picturesque. In terms of forces, they're identical, so once again, you get slammed into the seat. Immediately following, you go through a short tunnel, which acts as a great near-miss element if I might add. You want to tuck your arms down because you're afraid they'll get cut off. After the tunnel, you come up a little, make a right-hand turn, and then enter the brake run. All in all, this ride lasts approximately 1 minute from drop to brakes. This is currently my favorite Schwarzkopf coaster that I have ridden. It is a really fun ride. It's smooth, too. Plus, it's getting new sections of track this year after an extensive refurbishment that took place last year, so it's great that they're taking care of this classic coaster to try to preserve it as long as they can. Believe it or not, as of 2021, this is currently my third favorite coaster at Six Flags Over Georgia. The only ones I like more than this are Goliath and Twisted Cyclone. In a park that has rides like Batman the Ride, Superman Ultimate Flight, and Daredevil Dive, I like Mindbender better than all of those, which I know may be unpopular opinions. This is an ace coaster landmark, and I feel it deserves it. This ride is so underrated. It almost gets forgotten sometimes because there's so many newer coasters at Over Georgia, but this ride still delivers a great ride, even at 43 years old. For Mindbender's overall score, it will earn an 8 out of 10. I think that's about as fair of a score as you can get. If you go to Six Flags Over Georgia, do not miss Mindbender. It's a great, classic roller coaster. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And this is Coasters and Things signing out.